Hi guys, welcome to Ithalian After Hours, where we're going to be talking about the things that have happened in the previous session, and then pretty much all things D&D. Today I have joining us two of our awesome players. If you would like to introduce yourselves.
I am Abigail Snellgrove. I play Aneth Emberleaf.
I am Levi Parker. I play Dath'tan.
And I will be your host, Amy Jones, who I also play Saaka in our campaign. So, yesterday was session 1 of campaign 2. What are you guys feeling? Have any, thoughts? Are you excited? Are you scared? What's going through your heads about it?
I killed the dude by not even touching him, so that was a thing.
I'm really excited, especially with the introduction of more vocal characters, that we're going to have a lot more interaction. And there's going to be a lot of playing off one another, especially when Cedric begins to be more introduced. He definitely has a few tricks up his sleeve when it comes to not only his character voice, but his acting as well.
Yeah, I can't wait until he can actually be at the table and not be played by the DM.
Yeah, that was one sad thing, is when you have a missing player.
It leaves a hole in the story.
Especially a dude who's that funny.
Oh my goodness. Lane is so charismatic. So, Lane is one of our players who couldn't be here yesterday. He plays Cedric, I believe is his name. And he has the most amazing accent. So he was not able to be there, sadly. But I think he will be there next week, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah,
he was involved in my session 0.
Yes.
And so when he and I first met each other, I had never heard his character voice before this moment. And the first words that came out of his mouth, I don't even remember what they were, but they had me rolling on the floor just because of the attitude that he gave the NPC. And of course my character couldn't speak, so she was just listening to this dude roast our NPC. It was really good.
Yeah. So any other thoughts about the very first session of this new campaign?
I think it went really well. I think we definitely kind of surprised our dungeon master with how much damage we could do.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Or how much we can avoid being hit.
Yeah. I think a few of us are a little OP, but...
Maybe.
So this is the level 3.
I know. Well, I'm also a barbarian, and I think barbarians are always supposed to be a little bit on the...
Let's be honest, you could have soloed that entire encounter.
Yeah, maybe.
Kinda did. Except for you, and you did amazing with your...
I took out 2 of them.
I broke the guy's nose. That was fun.
I mean, you killed somebody without even having to touch them. I mean, that injures yourself too, though, right?
Yes. I mean, they hit me for, I think it was 8 damage. And I dropped down to very, very hurt. But they also died. So, there's that.
You'll always look on the bright side. Okay, so I have a question for you, Levi. So yesterday with your conversation of who we trust that you had with Kelsian, trying to get the answers, what were your thoughts when you were trying towards these strangers?
Well, to Saaka, Care, and Coil, there's a bit more trust in them because we did spend about a week just swimming. So there was that. So that there was that trust that was kind of built for just survival.
Yeah.
Then for the trusting of Aneth and Cedric, it was more of, they helped. They helped in the fight.
They're not trying to kill you actively.
To kill us. So it's a lot of being on edge because of how alert Dath'tan had to be while out swimming on Driftwood. So he's still a little on edge, and he'll probably still be for a while.
Makes sense. I mean, these are people like you saved your life to people that come in very new who aren't actively trying to kill you, but aren't really
not yet.
Talking as much.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, coming in and just so I think it's probably a good to explain actually. So yesterday was session 1, but we all had separate session 0s to have our background. So a few people were in groups because I think that there's 7 of us total as players, and so we all had different session 0s. You, Abigail, who played Aneth, you had yours with Cedric.
Yes.
Who is played by Lane. So, sadly, everyone knows Lane wasn't able to be there due to working. How are you coming into that? Do you have any ideas to be talking with him about everything once he's here? Like, since he wasn't there, what conversations are you wanting to have with him once he does?
Right. My assumption is that, first of all, we're all going to fill him in. And then I feel like there are certain things that maybe he will comment on, saying, oh, I would have said this in that situation,
Yeah.
But in total, I think that, Aneth isn't really the talk about the past type. She likes talking about the present.
Yeah.
So I feel like bringing up things that had happened during the fight won't really be her thing.
Okay.
So we'll see, though. Depends on whether or not he's asking
any questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in character between Aneth and Cedric, there's not, a conversation you kind of want to have with him about, the group of people that you just saw murder all these bandits, and then you just go on an adventure with them?
I feel like there might be a little bit of discussion about that, but especially just, the two of us still being new to each other.
I see.
Probably newer than you guys are to each other, the whole, Driftwood group.
Yeah.
We've only been traveling for, a couple of days max.
I see.
And, we have already had a clashing of heads.
Oh. Okay.
There was this event that was going on, and he was like, we need to run away, and Aneth was like, no, we need to stay and fight. And that ended up turning up not so great. And so I feel like it's going to be very, a good friendship, but also there's going to be a lot of clashing and,
due to personalities and, beliefs, I'm guessing. Yeah, interesting. Okay. So you guys feel like you kind of have, a bond? Probably not quite yet. Just due to that clashing.
Like Levi said, close, but not necessarily friends yet.
Yeah.
Trusted more than the new group.
Acquaintances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know of each other, we're just not... It's on a thin line.
Yeah, and it's obvious that some characters are going to get along more than others will.
Yeah. Due to personalities and, I feel that. So, this is a question for both of you. Besides introductions, talk hasn't really been... your characters haven't really talked much with each other. What were your guys' first impressions of your characters?
Of everybody? Or?
Just you two, especially.
Us two.
I mean, you guys can answer, what you thought of the other characters, but especially you two, what did you guys think of each other? Since you guys hadn't really talked in-game.
Well, the first words that I heard out of his mouth were Dath'tan, and I thought that he had a lisp. And so Aneth was like, is that Dustin, but with a lisp? And then he said death, and then thief, and she was like, I don't know whether or not to, know if he's actually, talking to me normally, or if there's something I should be working around, because she has a really hard time reading
Thief is a good boy.
And
he only steals 1 coin. Don't worry about that.
She wasn't afraid of him, especially considering they're both not very common to, I guess, the material plane, satyrs and tieflings.
Yeah.
I feel like she kind of went, oh, he's like me, Of course, there's a lot of that in this group, so.
Mine was more of, oh, you just jumped up and broke that dude's nose with your face. All right, that's a thing. That happened.
It's 5 o'clock.
Thanks, random dude in the corner. I needed to know that.
Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So what do you guys think of the other characters in the party so far?
Not bad. I don't get bad vibes from anybody yet.
Yeah.
Then again, I really haven't seen anybody's motives. Saaka scares the heck out of me, and Aneth is gonna keep her distance.
I think that's on purpose.
Dath'tan's view on Saaka is more of, you're strong. I've seen really strong people. I want to be on your good side.
Yeah.
To Care and Coil, it's more of, you have your abilities, and it's just survival at that point.
Care and Coil have their own thing going on.
Yeah.
And
With
it
each
is
other.
very, very concerned for Coil's safety,
Yes.
but is also concerned for Care's ability to provide that safety, considering
Definitely.
that, I mean, it's obvious that he didn't intend for Coil to come into this situation, but now that Coil is in it, it's kind of like
Traumatized boy.
Care kind of turns to do his own thing before shielding Coil.
Yeah.
And it's concerning to Aneth because the first thing she saw was baby on the battlefield. So
I think it's like Care's taking on that new role of like parenting, sort of like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but maybe I should be doing this instead.
Yeah. Views on, I can't even say his character's name.
Olmagte?
Olmagte.
Olmagte? Yeah, I'm just calling him either Mac or Omac or just O. That's like, when I just said his name is Mac, that was me actually not being able to pronounce his name. Like, I'm just like, I heard it
It'll
and I'm just like,
happen.
his name is Mac.
It's a good nickname. Honestly, that's probably gonna stick.
Yeah. His name's just gonna be Mac.
Yeah, Mac. Mac is a good name. You can get down with that.
We need to give him a lot of cheese.
I think Saaka...
I'm not sure he can eat cheese.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw cheese at him. He'll be fine.
Saaka
He'll
calls
just
him
stick to
Dirt
his
Man.
face.
Dirt man.
and fall
Dirt
off.
man.
But with, what's Nick's character's name?
Kelsion.
With Kelsion, kind of the same thing as with Dath'tan. It was like, oh look, another being that isn't super common here. Maybe we'll have something in common, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I can, like, connect with these dudes, like, so where are you from? Oh, hey, me too, you know, or something like that.
Not from this plane.
But with Mac, it was kind of like, I heard one word, and
Shivers.
Aneth was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this, because that's
To
creepy.
even explain more, Mac's race is weird. He's a telepath, but he can only link to one person at a time.
That's gonna be
So
hard.
if he's talking to people, he has to say everything multiple times to each person, but for speeding things up, he's just gonna say it once, just to, have that. Unless we can get him, like, a thing where he can just be linked to all of us.
Communication will be a lot of effort for him. That's why he probably won't be talking a whole
A
lot.
whole lot.
More just
But he'll be saying
Acting.
things that matter when it needs to be.
And that is Jack. He is our tech guy for the today. So thank you for
Yeah, sure.
helping us. But he plays, I'm gonna call you Matt because I still can't.
Yep,
I
it's just
still
Mac.
can't. I know you just said it like multiple
It's Mac.
times.
I might as well just change it now. It's Mac.
I want
That'll
to
be my
say
nickname.
Yeah.
it's to me like the way it's spelled. It looks like Olmite, but I know that's not it. So
Olmite.
I thought it was like
Olmite.
Olmagte, you know?
Like, I thought so too. Like, I saw how he spelt the name, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna try to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, this
doesn't
group,
even
this
deserve
group
an
has a
attempt.
history of poorly pronounceable names.
He's a pretty
Yes.
Our
otherworldly
last campaign
character that
was a lot
nobody
of
knows where he
Zs.
came from.
Z's and
Lots of
X's.
Z's.
So it only makes sense that his name kind of fits that persona.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Alright, so Aneth, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, since appearing onto the scene, she has shown, very cautious, kind of worrisome, and legitimate fears towards the strangers that you came across. What made her exactly stay and not run away?
So, Aneth has a history with not being too surrounded by people. When she first came to the islands, she was taken in by a group of certain people. I'm not going to give, like, a huge backstory because that's something that y'all will need to learn.
Out. Yeah.
But
find out later.
she knew just basically this, like, nomadic group.
Yeah.
For the longest time, that's where she got her robe from. She was a cloistered scholar.
Oh, wow.
And then said, you know what? I'm going to hit the world. And she's kind of been a lone wolf. Mm-hmm. But seeing how well this group worked together, she immediately felt almost like sympathy towards them and their situation. She wasn't able to turn away. Like, if Cedric said, let's go, she'd be like, you're going by yourself. Because she felt this passion to help out the group. She's like, I see that they're hungry, I want to feed them, I want to keep them warm, all that stuff.
See, kind of like a little bit of a bleeding heart.
Yes, absolutely.
Group, especially for baby.
Yeah, she has a bleeding heart like her father.
Okay.
So,
I'm really excited to kind of dig into that and see where that goes into the campaign. So, for both of you. So, a murder happened in the night, under the Protector's watch. Any worries that not seeing the things that got Derek, like, it was under our noses. No one saw what got him. Do you guys have any guesses as to what it was?
Not quite guesses to what it was. It was kind of like, oh, I was right next to that. Because if you caught on, I slept up against a tree. Mm-hmm. He slept up against a tree, and just past that one tree was the grouping of trees that we found the body at.
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh. Okay. Something happened. I don't know what exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, Cedric and I, in our campaign 0, or our session 0, we ran into a very large beast.
Oh.
And with the help of the NPC that was our guide for the time, we ended up defeating it. Aneth still has a tooth from it. Now, not remembering this, she didn't look into it further, but the suspicion still stuck with her that this same beast may have taken out Derek, considering he was gored in not a got in a fight kind of way. It was more like a beast got to him way.
Yeah.
What was the beast?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, we, so in our session 0s, we are all separated. Mm-hmm. And then session 1 is where we all come together and meet.
Yes.
It's just kind of a way for us to have kind of like, certain characters know certain characters, so we're not coming into this, no one knows anyone, we have to do meetings all separately. So we, the people that had a different session 0, we had no idea of what happened until our characters share it. So that's interesting that in your session 0, you met like kind of a beast. You have an idea of what it might be. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't remember if it was mentioned by the NPC that there was more than one.
Yeah.
But the assumption being that there is, considering kind of what we ran into and how experienced our NPC was with battling it.
Yeah.
There's a chance that, this could be what we had ran into, and so Aneth is hoping it's not.
So you guys did end up killing the beast.
Yes.
What it was.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you guys did it, maybe if it is that same beast, our group will be able to do it too.
Hopefully. It was a tough fight for us.
That was very two different
we got a whole group
answers.
now. Should be able to do it.
So that was very two different answers. You're just like, hopefully, and Levi's over here like, oh, we got this. What do you think Levi, what do you think your character would think if she explains this beast do you think your character will have a similar reaction of like, oh, we got this, or?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on what happens at the table next week.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So far, we have fought on a beach.
Yep.
Ate.
Yep.
Been hired as some weird security.
Yep.
We've fallen asleep all within a 24-hour time gap.
Mm-hmm.
So the two of you, along with everyone else, has kind of been thrown in this weird loop, and now we're possibly in an interesting danger. How are your characters doing in this situation? Like, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? I mean, I think you, Levi, kind of went into it of, you're just like, all right, there's this new piece of what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because this is all within 24 hours, our session 1 of, like, all we've done is fight, sleep, eat, and meet crazy new people.
Mm-hmm. Aneth is very excited for the journey ahead. She got tired of just sitting at home, sitting with her little group.
Yeah.
And, but also, like, terrified and exhausted at the same time. Definitely a lot of new faces. She kind of has a hard time with new faces. She wants to make herself seem more like them, instead of being her own person.
Oh, that could be a little bit of an obstacle, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we have a lot of different types of people and characters in this.
Yeah. Very different from our previous campaign.
So
she wants to be universally liked by the entire group. So there could be things that they dislike about her, like maybe her stubbornness or the fact that she prefers her own, like melee weapons, her horns and stuff like that over actual, like, swords and whatnot. Yeah. Because that's the way she was taught.
I think that's just
Headbutting the enemy.
Badass than anything else.
And she's small.
Small.
She's 5'2", I want to say. 5'1", 5'2".
So she's feeling tired, but she's feeling okay about everything.
Yeah, she's confident that she won't die.
So she's a little bit more of a, sounds like an optimistic kind of character.
Yes.
Very just like bubbly, and she's like, okay guys, we got this, kind of probably more of our cheerleader compared to some of the others.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed is that she was trying to keep the entire group light.
Yeah.
During conversation, she was trying to initiate conversations.
Yeah.
And so that's something I hope to kind of forge more of is this, come on guys, let's work together to do this,
You'll definitely be our, like, cheerleader of, like, we got this.
Let's keep morale up.
Yes, we
On
can.
the sidelines, almost passed out with 2 HP. You guys do it! I'm almost dead, but it's fine.
I believe in you. So, okay, so I only have a couple more questions. So, Dath'tan, or Levi. So, this kind of has, so, the debt Dath'tan sees with Aneth and Cedric to a stranger, does it immediately put Aneth in a bad spot for him? Did he kind of believe Aneth's response?
What?
So,
Read the question again.
So, with Aneth and Cedric, Dath'tan kind of sees like a debt between those two.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You'd mentioned that we had a debt to pay off.
Yes. Does it kind of, in Dath'tan's eyes, what are you thinking about Aneth? Does that put Aneth in kind of like a bad outlook for Dath'tan? So, like, did you believe what Aneth had told you
when I said no, we don't have a debt?
So, Dath'tan has been through a lot. Like, literally a lot. So he will take any help that he can get, but he will also want to repay that as much as he can.
Okay.
So eventually down the line, he will try to repay everything that has been done, but that's just a matter of if he can.
So does Dath'tan feel like he has a debt to repay the group or the group of strangers that he just met?
I think just helping and sticking with the group is going to be a part of that. Definitely when Cedric just came up with no problem and just healed them, he's just like, I have no idea who you are, but thank you. I will repay that one day.
Okay.
Like, it's something like that. Like how Aneth came, saw all of us beaten to a pulp, and we're like, I'm gonna cook a meal.
I'm gonna feed you
It's
guys.
How am I getting on top of that?
Yeah.
He's used to being alone a lot, so being in a group is more of this is weird.
Yeah.
Being in a big group, a lot of attention being drawn to this group, so it's more of I'm gonna try to help where I can.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, who wants to, like, always feel like they're just receiving?
Right.
Instead of, like, being able to contribute and help, especially probably a character like Dath'tan, who is always by himself.
I feel like there's going to be kind of, not necessarily a power struggle, but like a respect struggle
Yeah.
between our two characters, because he wants to give back. But Aneth doesn't want to receive. She just wants to give attention and, like, help and all that kind of stuff. Like, she hates it when she's being helped because then that makes her feel weak. That makes her feel like less than whoever's, giving her attention or food.
Yeah.
She's like, I can do this myself. I don't need your help.
So it sounds like you guys have similar outlooks on, like, debts and, like, everything. That's probably going to be harder because you both are so similar that it's just going to be, like, this struggle of, like, no, let me just help you. Yeah. I mean, how does Dath'tan feel about, does he accept the group? Yeah, the fact that he is no longer going to be alone, at least for the foreseeable future. And does he kind of accept it, or is he going to be, like, that one loner in the group that's just
he knew that it was going to be him and Kelsion for a long while. He didn't expect the group expanding that big that fast, and he's going to be more hanging out with the person that he knew the most and knows the most. And going to be like, hey, can we trust these guys now? Going back to the conversation that I had with Kelsion about trusting who can we trust the most?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's going to be a hard question to answer, at least until we're much further into the campaign. Because
Definitely.
right now, it's just for survival. It's not even for... It's not even for, like, I choose to be with you. It's the fact I'm forced to be with you, especially for this new job that we have for doing security. It's actually for survival.
Yeah, it's at least we have a good way of somewhat safe travel.
Right.
That's another big.
So, what were you guys' favorite part of yesterday's session? Like, if you had to think on the top of your head, what was the biggest thing that's, like, either spoke to you or, like, you loved about it? Since yesterday was the first session of a campaign that we had done in a month, so since we did take a break from campaign 1 to campaign 2, how did it kind of feel? I know I'm asking multiple questions. How did it kind of feel to be back at the table in a main campaign? And
Oh, man.
I went from like we took from our first campaign to now this one, which is being recorded now. I did a mini series, which I was the DM for.
Yes.
Now being a player again, my rolls are terrible. My first so I always do test rolls before the session. I rolled 3 1s.
Oh no! I mean, we always say that your dice are cursed anyways, so what do you think would
they
change?
are. They're terrible, but From where I started, they're terrible now.
You know, he used to be the dude that would always
Nat 20.
nat 20 here, nat 20 there, and now all nat ones. I think.
But that was also I was first time playing D&D
with real set dice.
with a real set of dice.
Yeah.
And a homebrew character, so I was playing nothing I could really research about.
Yeah.
Because it was all a homebrew class that our DM made.
So how did you feel? Just kind of like, were you nervous or like what was
it was nervous, but it was my favorite part of the session was definitely when Aneth and Cedric came in, and it's like, is that a child? Like, yes, that's a child.
It's a baby on the battlefield. What about you? How did you
insulting people?
How did you feel coming back?
So, first of all, it was like, I also DM in my free time.
Yeah.
I have a couple groups back at home that I DM just like in my little town. And being back at the table and being able to hear someone else describe a setting, someone else being able to say, this is what you're up against, instead of knowing that, it was that element of surprise that really excited me. And the fact that, like, I had control over my character only. I was really glad with the diversity of the group.
Yeah.
Not only of the group, but of the people playing them, giving them accents and personalities and attitudes, like, I feel like last campaign was really everybody just speaking through their character rather than playing their character in some cases.
I tried.
No, yeah, and that was good, but, like, some days there would be, my character does this. My character does that. And then some days it would be super into it. And our first session together, everybody was character voices, attitudes, just all of this stacking on top of one another. It was really good. And I'm really excited to see as people grow more comfortable with each other, how they're going to play off of each other. Yeah. Because that's like my favorite thing is I say something, someone else responds to it. And now I know that, like, we're having that interaction,
You're gonna actually have a conversation instead of just like speaking and then it's completely
and then everybody's like
just looking at
what she said.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think that's just D&D too. It's like the more you play, the more experience you have and the more comfortable you are, and just like it is really exciting to see everyone's improvements, because we've been doing this for almost 2 years as a group, and I think it's like as we add new people and we see everybody and we become greater friends, I think it's just really exciting to see everyone's growth, and I think it can only get better, guys.
Right.
Don't have some positivity.
Let me have my jokes.
All right. What was your favorite part of yesterday's session?
I want to say, like, the reactions everyone had to Caleb, the guy we knocked out, to him coming back awake. Everybody was like, at first we were all kind of standoffish, all eating our own soups, not saying much. The moment he woke back up, everybody was a group again, and we were all like, we want this guy dead. And it's just like that snap back to unity kind of thing. That was like super cool to kind of have everybody have one universal goal for the entire group.
I want to know your actual reaction once Dath'tan looked directly at Saaka and just went, okay, cut off his ear. I want to know that exact reaction.
And Saaka's like, sure.
So, Aneth starts holding grudges really early on.
Oh, no.
So, the moment that someone does something against her or talks back to her, she's immediately like, okay, we need to fix that attitude, because she didn't get attitude where she's from.
Oh.
And so people actually like talking back and like not agreeing with her is kind of like, she's kind of like, whoa, like, come on, I'm kind of a big deal. Why are you talking to me like that? You know?
I see. So she's gonna have to get, I feel,
she has
a little used to, you know.
And so immediately she was kind of excited to see this dude, you know, just kind of pay for how he was treating our group, but also terrified that the half-orc was so precise with it. Like, if you tell a half-orc barbarian, go cut his ear off, they're gonna take the whole head with it. But she was like, slicing a thin slice of a tomato, the ear straight off, you know, and it kind of terrified her that you had control over that situation, that Dath'tan was the one who called that shot.
Yeah.
Like, that's like little girl, giant mech, and the mech, you know, follows her commands. Like, it's like, ugh.
I feel like Saaka would have taken the ear off if anybody had said it.
Right,
I think she
right,
just
but, like,
wanted to...
Oh, that was just me on the fly. Like, what's gonna make this guy talk? Let's take off his ear.
Yeah, the implications
That's
of
gonna
it,
do
though,
something.
to her,
Has
because
to.
she doesn't know you guys.
Yeah.
That was the first real interaction that she had seen between any of the group, except for Coil and Care, because they obviously, like, they talked a lot together.
Yeah, especially since it kind of sounds like Aneth came from this kind of sheltered or, like, life of, like, I am authority, and you need to respect me to... You go to where no one really respects anybody.
Right.
And just to this weird environment. I'm sure that was, like...
Oh, it was very strange for her when, during the session 0, the reason she met Cedric is she made a bad decision.
Yeah.
And she went and she messed with the wrong dude.
Oh.
And then
No.
the next thing she knew, she woke up in a burlap sack.
Oh my.
And it was because she was like, do you not know who I am? You know, like, do you not know?
Yeah, who you just kidnapped.
Yeah,
to,
like, what are you
excuse
doing?
you.
And so, you know, before she really made her journey into the islands, you know, instead
Yeah.
of staying with her nomadic group, she had been treated like this upper class, you know, like...
Almost royalty kind of.
Yeah.
being.
And so the fact
the
that
top
she's
to
not
the
the
very
center of the
bottom.
universe anymore is kind of like a kick in the head.
Yeah, she's gonna. It sounds like
Yeah,
she's gonna
we
get
check.
knocked down a few pegs.
Yeah, but
It's gonna be a reality check.
she's
especially
very
from
stubborn.
where Dath'tan came from.
Yeah.
Where it's survive.
Yeah, no, with her it was smooth sailing. And then got kidnapped and now she's here. So,
Working as security
yeah.
for this weird,
At least we
very.
get
But
paid.
she's not upset about being traveling with the group though. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all interesting folk. Like I said, she feels more comfortable around people who don't look normal. Because she traveled with people who weren't normal. They were nomadic. They didn't
Yes.
stay in one place for a long time, you know. They were very, like, sheltered from the rest of society. They lived way out in the middle of nowhere, and she went with them. So it was kind of like being introduced to a group where nobody looks the same. Well, almost nobody looks the same.
What does that mean?
I mean, you and Kelsion, I don't know, you could be cousins. Not gonna lie. You know, like second cousins.
Second cousins, not even first. You don't make the cut to first.
I'll say right
Starting
now,
fan fiction.
we are
The womb.
not. Dath'tan and Kelsion are not family at all.
Not related at all.
We are just really good friends already.
Okay, that's. I mean, if there was
That's-
another satyr in the group, I think I'd
Yeah.
be friends with them too.
You feel like a bond, kind of closer.
Yeah.
It's like you're my kind. Like
Yeah.
you understand what I'm going
Yeah,
through.
if we had live picture when the DM was describing the leader of the caravan,
Mm-hmm.
Nick and I were just staring at each other and
Enthralled.
just like, hey, look, another tiefling. And I also looked around to everyone else, and they're all looking at us like, do you know this person? Oh, who's this? Oh, is this backstory? Like, no, it's not. We have no idea who this man is.
No, yeah, but like,
And we're just joking around, just staring, just like, what's this? Okay. No, it's nothing.
Aneth is
Yeah.
still convinced they're a circus.
I
probably.
mean,
Like, no doubt about
They
it.
probably.
does
Yeah.
sound like they're a circus.
Yeah.
I mean, how can they not?
Or at least like
be?
like she asked, she was like,
Traveling-
hey Lux, not to be rude or anything, but what kind of freak show are you running? Because I want to join.
You're like,
And he was like, oh no, we're just traveling, we're a caravan, we're just traveling. And she's like,
Traveling
Yeah,
motions,
sure.
how
probably.
about that?
traveling, wink.
Yeah.
Stuff.
To your next show.
Right? Some kind of entertainment group.
Mm-hmm.
Whether what kind it is, it's gonna be weird to see.
Only time will
Interesting to
tell.
I feel like the whole salesman is like a side hustle, and the real hustle is the freak show / circus. Because, I mean, not a single one of them looked remotely normal.
Yeah.
Even Lux, he was
Yeah.
bright orange. I mean, you don't see bright orange tieflings normally.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we're in a plane where that stuff is not the norm
Mm-hmm.
versus where tieflings and satyrs come from.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any questions for each other concerning yesterday's session, or like characters, or like what are you guys kind of
/ do you have any questions for us?
exactly, or do you have any questions for me?
Do the
So,
tech guys have any questions?
oh yes, our awesome tech guys, Jack, who plays Mac, and then we also have Nate, who plays Baby, Winding Coil.
Big Coil.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions or anything to add about like how the session went or how you guys were also feeling?
I think Mac is just gonna keep his distance and try and figure you guys out. Probably get some intel on you guys, and then see what goes from there.
Likewise with Aneth. She's not super keen on getting closer than 5 feet to Matt.
Ooh, ooh. Nate. Top 3 most scariest.
Ooh,
Ooh.
baby.
Saaka, Mac, and Saaka again.
I made
Okay.
list twice.
In no particular order. No,
In no particular order, out to people.
How is Coil feeling? He has a little bit PTSD already.
he's scared. But he
Wants
knows
freedom.
that he's stuck in the situation now and doesn't really have a choice in the matter.
How many people have he seen get absolutely murdered?
Like 5.
I mean,
He's keeping
just the
track.
one session.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
overall.
I mean,
Like, including our session 0. How many people did he see get murdered?
How does he feel about that, though?
He's scared out of his mind.
I feel like
At least
because
he has his yarn ball.
I feel like
How old
because
is
he's
he?
baby, he
He is
doesn't
9.
understand
Oh, wow.
the concept of
He is
death.
3'1". He is tiny.
I mean, he's 9. I mean, I'm sure at this point he understands the concept of death or even the consequences, but probably
Like
Bit
the
much.
severity.
It's kind of
Yeah.
brutal.
of
What
why.
happened
I mean, does Coil? I mean, that's a good question for you. Does Coil understand kind of like why this is happening and why these people need to die, or even death itself?
I would probably say at least a little bit because of the kind of person that Care presents himself as. He's probably had somewhat of a discussion with him a little bit, but he hasn't experienced it firsthand like he has now, where the first person he saw die had their jaw shoved up into their brain by a guy with a warhammer.
Yeah.
Which was also his hand.
Yeah, during his session 0.
Yeah, I mean, there was Nate, who plays Winding
guy.
Coil, Liam, who plays Care, Levi, with Dath'tan.
How do you get stuck on that? It's probably one of the most easier names I've chosen for a character.
Dath'tan and Kelsian.
I keep wanting to say
Yeah.
Dath'tan instead of Dath'tan.
Just say Dath.
Dath.
That's
okay, I like
actually
that.
what I was going for. Just like, if you just call
Dathy.
Dath for short.
Daffy boy.
I will stab you.
One
Hey, you're calling me Matt.
Dathy boy.
Yeah, because your name is insanely hard to pronounce.
I thought about making it purposely unpronounceable, though. Just like, You know, because his language is actually a language nobody would know. So
Yeah, no one knows it.
why not? I would just like make some weird screeching or something. They're like, "What are you saying?"
So one final question before we wrap it up for tonight. So since this was our first session of the campaign, what are you guys excited to see for in the future of the rest for the campaign?
Definitely like new settings and new kind of places to go, things to see, because in our first campaign we saw a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, we met the expanses of reality.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea that we can re-experience that in a new way this time, and I feel like we're not just going to stay in one little island, in one
We have
spot
more freedom too,
particularly.
right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Because there's no timer.
out of Kaya, where we're at, there are 3 separate
Main-
islands.
Yeah,
Out of this,
like countries,
Mhm.
sort of.
and I'm pretty sure not all of our things are on the one island that we're at now. I'm pretty sure we do
Right.
have to explore everything out of the 3 islands just to finally get everything there done, and then the overall story of what's gonna go down.
Right.
Well, everything's
yeah.
gonna split apart in whichever ways it will, because everybody's characters will be developing.
Oh
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm excited for is character development, bond development, friendship
Yes.
development. I mean, I'm excited to see the new NPCs that we're introduced to, and, you know, are we going to get backstabbed? Are we going to find a new best friend? You know, are we going to have those characters that we can recall to when we need help, like we
Exactly.
did before? You know, is there going to be old dog, new tricks, or same dog, same tricks? You
Yeah.
know, like, I'm excited to see kind of the grand scope of beginning to end. Like, when we look back and we say, oh yeah, remember that time we gored those dudes in 3 turns in our first section? Yeah, that was great. You know,
Yeah.
I'm excited for quote book quotes and like sound bites and, you know, like
Yeah.
reactions to each other, just this like idea of kind of bringing everything together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as a new group that
Right.
we started with. We definitely have less players this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
We had 11 players in our first campaign.
Which is way too much.
Yeah.
That's D&D.
You could split that into 2 parties and you would be fine.
yeah.
And we did at one
Even
point.
3.
Yeah.
We did at one point.
Yes.
I
Two
think,
DMs.
yeah, I think the recommended is like
I was the
4 to
most
6.
logical out of that one group.
Yeah.
Yes. So this time
Gave me
it's.
insulation work.
I think there'll be.
Mhm. Everybody else jumped down that pit.
Yeah, we're like, let's play in the snow. I don't build snow.
Hey, that
Hey,
snow
we
was
found
cool.
our objective.
Yeah, you did. No
You
doubt
found
about it.
something else.
That snow made some pretty cool stuff.
Mhm.
I
was like a
entertained
portal.
a lot of people.
Hmm?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I think in this new campaign we're gonna have a lot more. We're gonna be able to have more character developments versus our last campaign, and more bonds between friendships and people and everything. Since there is kind of
Or maybe
like.
fights, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a lot more being able to role play
Mm-hmm.
a lot more with each other, which I'm really excited for. And as you said, character development, and just
Right.
kind of seeing where really dig into people's backstories, which is not exactly something we were able to do very much last campaign.
Absolutely not,
Especially in very much in depth. Like, you even shared a little bit about your backstory with us today.
Yeah.
And so, very excited to see that. How about you, Nate? Any any thoughts for the last session?
Coil's gonna end up traumatized as shit by the end of this.
He already is.
He already
Let's be
is.
honest. There's no saving that cat.
Yeah. But seriously
Yeah,
though,
he's
like,
gone. Oh,
I am
wow,
interested to see how the rest of the campaign goes, because our characters by the end of the campaign are gonna be nothing like they were at the beginning of the campaign, so I'm interested to see how that turns out, how characters sort of bouncing off each other, how that develops, so on and so forth.
Alright, guys, any last words or advice or thoughts before we end for tonight?
Without saying too much, what would you be looking forward to next, would you say, for each of us? Just a question for everybody here. I know Mac personally, he's more interested in trying to figure out what is exactly going on with him and learning more about his connections to the previous place where he came from.
With Dath'tan, he's been sticking near the back of the entire caravan to get a read on everyone who's in this group that he was thrown into. So he's gonna stick near the back of the carts to, one, protect the very back of it, and two, to just watch everyone else.
Kind of an observer role.
Yeah.
For Aneth, it's definitely going to be like not only understanding her surroundings and the people around her, but finding comfort in that, because like it's been months since she's been comfortable around people. Exactly. And even in this group, she's kind of sleeping with one eye open, like...
I think everyone is.
Yeah, like...
I don't need sleep.
There's, there's definitely a lot of... Not only can she trust the group she's with, but the caravan she's with. Because we'd met them, 6 or 7 hours before we all slept... in that big circle.
Exactly.
It was kind of like a Star
you guys all
David.
slept. In the big circle, I went to a tree and slept away from the group.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, and it was... I'm looking forward to her hopefully understanding and building bonds rather than keeping herself closed. She's kind of trying to be friendly to the group. She's trying to, be enthusiastic considering that... kind of just stuck together. It wasn't like, thanks for the help, we're gonna go this way and you're gonna go that way. It was like, well, we both have a common goal, let's go there together.
Stick together. So she's trying to make the best of the situation she was put in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially since just being kidnapped 24 hours ago, and now she's like, okay, well, I don't think these people will do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of what she's looking forward to.
Yeah, Saaka's actually a lot younger than you guys would think she is.
Wait, let us guess. If we don't already know. I know I don't know.
Are we talking orc
Is she 20?
years?
Is she in her
Yeah.
20s?
No,
Half-orcs live
They don't...
a bit longer than humans.
So she's
Like
a
the
half-orc.
Yeah.
So she is half. So yeah, she doesn't live as long as orcs, but she lives a little longer than humans. And so it kind of seems she has a lot of experience, and she's grown a lot in the last few years, but she has kind of a different personality that she portrays to you guys. I'm a little bit excited to kind of
delve into that.
I mean, knowing that I haven't experienced much of Saaka,
Yes.
so much as I have just kind of seen and heard about her, not only mine, but Aneth's assumptions would be probably 30s to 40s, just not necessarily in terms of looks, but in terms of attitude, because Aneth's never encountered a half-orc before. She doesn't know their attitude.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how they age, But I feel like it's like, the more experience, my party days are over and behind me, now I'm down to business.
Yeah. She's actually 23.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. So she seems like she has all this experience.
I said that in the car right here. Remember? 23. I guessed it.
And she seems like she's just angry all the time and just wants to kill people. But I'm excited for you guys to kind of get to know her a little bit.
Aneth definitely doesn't want to get stabby by the half-orc.
I think it should be interesting. Alright, if that is it, my friends, I think we will wrap up for tonight. If anybody else has any last parting words. Alright. If any listeners have any questions for us, they can definitely put in comments or ask us. But besides that, I think that everyone have a good week, and then we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye,
Sounds
guys.
good. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.